Hello again, folks. Now, I don't believe in coincidences. I really don't. Well, 99.9% of everything is, I believe, orchestrated. There's that tiny fringe percentage where it's a coincidence. I've lived too long and too many things have happened in my life for me to believe that a high percentage of things that happen are coincidences. For example, if you read any of the James Bond books, and I've read one which is Casino Royale, that's the only one, and I think it's in that one where he says, and I quote, "Once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, three times is enemy action." End quote. That was, of course, written by Ian Fleming. And a good example of this happened to me recently. I had a conversation with someone and they let me know they knew who I was and what I did without letting me know that they knew who I was and what I did. But the coincidence of this conversation was they knew someone whom I'm very much aware of. So was that conversation a coincidence? Nah, I don't think so. But it did get my hackles up. Anyway, so in this video I'm going to be talking about Keir Starmer and the would-be paramaniacs who have been charged by the police with firebombing properties linked to him and a car. And this story is so bizarre, it sounds like it was cooked up in a News of the World tabloid-style fevered imagination, but here we are. Picture the scene, North London, where properties linked to Prime Minister have been set ablaze. Not one, not two, but three fires. Two houses and a car, to be precise. And at the centre of this is a 21-year-old Ukrainian guy called Roman Lavrinovich. And if rumours are to be believed, he's like a side hustle that's raising more eyebrows than a bad Botox job. And here's the thing, we know more about this guy at this stage of his prosecution than we ever did about Axel Rudabakana, the Southport murderer. Remember, Keir Starmer made a huge song and dance that people weren't allowed to talk about that one in case it jeopardised the trial. Well, everyone and their cats and dogs, newspapers, etc., are dishing out information about this fella like it's Jesus Christ feeding the 5,000. So what's the difference? You tell me. And it's weird, isn't it? It's a case of joining the dots because Boris Johnson and his wife, they had massive rows and the newspapers, etc., they speculated on that heavily. But why aren't they speculating about the rather obvious friction between Keir Starmer and his wife? Total radio silence on that. Why? And the questions on this, you can't ignore it for much longer, can you? It's all unverified claims and rumours, etc., but when the internet starts whispering things about Ukrainian rent boy, who supposedly knows Keir Starmer and his mate Lord Ali, you've got to wonder what's cooking in the gossip kitchen. So you have now 3 East European models, 3 attempts at arson, all linked to Keir Starmer, and Keir Starmer took a bizarre AIDS test in front of the world in Downing Street months ago. Like I said, connect the dots. And there are even posts claiming that there are voice messages, voice notes, etc., linking Starmer to that 21-year-old Ukrainian male model. And if there is, why haven't they been released yet? I know there is an injunction by Starmer stopping mainstream media reporting on his private life, but why? And no hard evidence has surfaced to back this up, so for now it's just noise, but still, it's the kind of noise that makes you think, what's really going on here? But here's what we do know. Earlier this month, fires broke out at properties tied to Keir Starmer. One in, I believe it was Kentish Town, where he used to live, another rented to his sister-in-law, and a car he once owned. All linked to him. Counter-terrorism police are on the case, which tells you this isn't just some kid playing with matches. So you've got this Lavrinovich fella, another guy called Stanislav Karpowicz, who's Romanian, and another Ukrainian called Pochinok. And they've all been nabbed, accused of conspiring to commit arson, and 3 men, 3 fires, and a shitload of questions, if you ask me. Now let's talk about Starmer, Prime Minister, who's been in office since July, and he must be wondering what he's done to deserve this. Is it political, is it personal, or just a coincidence? Like I said, I don't believe in coincidences, and there's too many dots here to connect to call it coincidence, in my opinion, but it's just my opinion. He himself called these attacks an attack on democracy and the values we stand for. Well, grand words, but when his old house is smoking and his old car's a bonfire, people are going to talk, aren't they? And talk they have, especially on X, and YouTube, Facebook, etc. It's all over social media where the rumour mill is churning out stories faster than a tabloid on a slow news day. Some people are saying this Ukrainian lad was more than just a random firebug, hinting at connections to Starmer and Lord Ali. So whoever's pulling those strings, again, no proof, just chatter. But in today's world, chatter can be louder than facts. And what's the bigger picture anyway? So is this about Starmer's politics? His Brexit deal has got fishermen up in arms. His decision to yank winter fuel payments from pensioners. And talking about that, he's done a U-turn, hasn't he? Now, before the 140 Labour MPs can rebel and really hit him squarely politically and damage him, and he would have damaged him. But why now? Is it in the hope to overshadow and bury this story? Who knows? Likely, because we know what politics is like in this country. But when you have 3 men, 2 Ukrainian, 1 Romanian, allegedly torching Keir Starmer's properties, you've got to ask, haven't you, why? Is this a geopolitical stunt, personal vendetta, or a bunch of lads who thought arson was a cracking way to spend a Monday night? But what gets me is this smells of a deeper rot. We've got a Prime Minister whose properties are being targeted, and instead of clear answers, we're drowning in rumours and half-baked theories. If there's any truth to this rent boy story or cosy connections with Starmer and his pals, somebody needs to come clean before the conspiracy nuts take over. And if it's just a random crime spree, then why the hell is counter-terrorism involved? Like I said, something doesn't add up. And I'm not buying the nothing to see here bollocks either. I'm really not. But here's my advice to Keir Starmer. Get ahead of this. If there's any whiff of truth to these rumours, address it. If not, shut them down with facts, not platitudes about democracy. The British public aren't idiots. Well, most of us aren't anyway. And we can smell a cover-up from a mile away. And to the chaps on X spinning tales of intrigue, put up or shut up, that's what I say. Show us the receipts or stop clogging the internet with your fan fiction. In the meantime, let's keep our eyes peeled. This story's got more twists than a soap opera. And I've got a feeling we're only at the first act. So if you've got thoughts on this, or better yet, actual evidence, drop them in the comments. Until then, stay sceptical, stay sharp, and for heaven's sake, don't play with matches. I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, and until the next time, Roger Trout.